Sajady with Xponential Intelligence. And I'm so excited to tell you that I will be on the Love event coming up in February with the Best U TV. And when Bernardo and David asked me to join, be a sponsor on the Love event, I heard about the concept and I said, no way, I want to be a partner in the Love event because I feel that this love event is going to be a pivotal moment for humanity, and I just wanted to be partner for it, and I wanted to do it right, and that's why I'm on the board. And it's going to be really, really exciting because this love event is different than anything out there. This love event is about bringing in the frequencies that we need, not just more emotions. Now, we all know, right? How many of you, again, how many of you think that the world needs more love? And we keep pouring more love in. But we've done that through history. A lot of us don't even know what love is really about, right? You might think, well, I know what love is because I can feel it. Can you really? Is that love burdened? Is that love, do you have to sacrifice for that love? Do you have to burden yourself for that love? Again, those aren't pure definitions of love. So the more we love, in reality, the more burdens we are creating. And if you look at the world, right, more love creates more burdens. Is that your definition? Well, for the world, that's the world's definition. We need to change that definition, and that's why I decided to do this love event with Bernardo and David, because we were looking at it, we were analyzing it, like, what does this world really need? This world needs a whole different definition on love, and that's what this love event is about. I personally, if you know me, right, can edit, transform, shift individuals. Now we're going to do it at a bigger scale, and I want you to be part of that. We're going to do a mass meditation at the love event. We're going to talk about what really is love at a very high level, at that purest level, the real definition of what love is about, and then the distorted definition that most people run. And then we're going to try to change it, not just for you, not just for your family, but the world. So again, join me on the love event coming up. Details below. Hey guys, Sajady here. Hope you are doing well. This is Mas on Sunday. Welcome. Today I have a very, very special guest. We're just going to bring him on as soon as we can, just in about a minute. But this is a really special and needed topic, not just for me, but for the world. And it's called "What is Love Good For?" In this Mas on Sunday, we're going to be talking about why love has had the opposite effect that everybody else is expecting, everybody desires. Two, how it's destroyed not only families but societies, and then eventually crumbling of those societies, and then now it's gone pandemic. It's literally destroyed, humanity. And then three, what is your responsibility to make it right for you and the world? Co-hosting with me is my lovely friend David Fagan. Over the time we've known him, we've gotten really close. He's the guy. How many of you know some of the guerrilla marketing books? Well, he's the genius behind all that. So again, highly intelligent, and he knows. I don't know. He's so detailed. He knows what to look for in people. It's really quite amazing, and bring those possibilities out. So, David, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on. It's always fun to dive into the deep end with you. I think
Yeah,
some
it
people
is, isn't
like
it?
to, some people like to sort of recycle the sound bites that they hear, but you really get into the deep end, and it's fun hanging out with you there.
Yeah, thank you so much. And again, he brings out that good point. I'm not going to talk, 15, 20 minutes about fluff and all that stuff. We're just going to dive right in. So some of the topics I brought into the conscious mind here for you all is like why love has had the opposite effect that everybody desires. That's pretty dicey to say, wouldn't you think, David? But do you think it's true, or am I just putting it out there?
Well, it's absolutely true. I mean, if you want to think about it, how many times have war ensued in the name of love? How many times has there been religious wars? Men of God, if you will, saying, hey, in the name of God, in the name of love, we got to go kill some people. I'm not saying there isn't a time to fight or stand up for what you believe in, but love has been used in a lot of impure ways, wrong ways. There's been a lot of injustice when it comes to love, and so you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and again, just look at your own life. Look at what people are doing nowadays on social media. You break up with somebody, and the other person, could easily destroy your life. And I know that's kind of happened to me. Can easily destroy your life by posting stuff on social media. And it's so easy to sit behind a computer now, in full being anonymous, and then destroy other people's life out of love, or the cancel culture. Well, they're not going what we're doing. The cancel culture, it's like, well, they're not doing it right, so we're going to destroy them. That's because we want to save the planet. We want to heal the earth. That's not how it works, guys. It's just no way in hell it works that way. It hasn't worked out in the past. You magnifying what we've done in the past doesn't work out either. So why has love had the opposite effect that everybody desires? So I'll explain it briefly, and then David, if you want to jump in, if you want to interject, feel
Sure.
free. Feel free. So the reason why it has had the opposite effect is because we look, and again, this is all about space and time. And I know I tell David that, and he goes like, "You got to explain that, Mom," because it's like way up here, and people are going, "Well, this is about love, not about space and time." Well, the closer you are, okay, imagine this, and I know a lot of people are new because we get more and more individuals coming on. So thank you for that. I would definitely subscribe to this channel to get the real stuff. But imagine yourself your physical form. Okay, the way I see it, or the way Exponential Intelligence sees it, you have a physical form. Okay, it's rendering is or it's rendered by your limitless self or your timeless self. Some of you might call it your spirit. Okay, so that's a reflection of who you are. So where does love come from? It's that proximity between your timeless self and your time bound self. Okay, and later on, I'll even demonstrate it for you and how you'll actually experience what I mean. So just hold on for that. We'll do a hyper meditation just to give you a real world example on that. The key is that further you are away, the less love that you feel for yourself and the world. So what you're trying to do is like you're trying to pull yourself together. Again, combine your timeless self and your time bound self together and integrate. And that's the love that you're looking for outside of yourself. So the issue is that people go, I need love outside of myself. So they'll reach out for, a lover. They'll reach out for a cause. They'll reach out for a purpose. They'll reach out to God. It's like, I'm doing God's handiwork. And then what happens though is that as your timeless self is here, your time bound self is here, you're reaching out this way. So you're separating yourself. So the more you try to conquer, the more you try to reach for love, the less love that you'll feel. And if you don't believe me, go back into your experiences and see how that's happened, right? When you lose yourself for love, right? How many people, and again, comment in, when you lose yourself for love, do you notice that there's less love around you, and then it destroys you, right? So that's the number one reason. And David, if you want to talk about that.
Well, one of the things that I find fascinating is your ability to tie things to pop culture, movies, TV. And it's not really about any one of those things, but it does help people understand by giving them a reference point. And it's not too hard to wrap your mind around where we are as a people when you look at pop culture, right? The princess always has to be rescued by the prince. Disney films, well intentioned, have probably messed up more than a few people, guys and girls, both.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Maguire, you complete me, right? And we get this
Oh yeah.
idea that, somebody else is going to complete us. So there's a lot of well-intentioned themes out there that aren't necessarily wrong, but we take them in the wrong way and we apply them in the wrong way. One of the questions I would love for you to kind of answer yourself is, what does love look like but isn't, right? What love looks like but isn't, in the sense of it's close, it's well intentioned, and I'll give you kind of one example just to tell you what I'm talking about, and you're probably going to tie this in already. There's a lot of people out there that get jealous, right? I love this person so much, right? And I get jealous. Jealousy isn't love. I think we all know that when we say that, but because it comes from people who quote unquote love us, sometimes we tolerate it, or we appreciate it, or we even take it as a compliment, like, wow, look how jealous this person is. They really love me. But is jealousy love? Does jealousy come from fear? I'll let you kind of play off of that a little bit yourself, because I would love your insights as well.
Wow, I could give you like an hour lecture on that, but we don't have that kind of time on Moss on Sunday. The Moss Experience, guys, the Exponential Intelligence podcast, they literally go into the deeper subjects. In fact, we're doing a relationship series on the science of relationships coming up for a Total Human Reset. You can take a look at that, and that's on the lecture series, by the way. Yeah, so jealousy or that kind of love, and overall, imagine yourself again, timeless self, time bound self, and then you're supposed to be connecting together. You're supposed to be looking at your spirit's looking at you, okay? And this is really key, it's really important. But you're going, well, in order for me to connect, I need somebody outside myself. So you have your spirit, you have yourself, you have the thing that you think is going to connect with you. So the further you go away, again, you're going the wrong way, and your spirit's going, "Hey, wait, I'm right here. Come back, because that you're supposed to connect with me." And then that's where a lot of fear, that's where a lot of anger, that's where a lot of, say, jealousy comes. If that makes sense to you, because what's happening in jealousy, and everything is defined at a pure level or at a pure definition to help you, by the way, including jealousy, hatred, anger, and all that. Okay, and I'll explain jealousy for you. So what happens in jealousy is that you think that somebody else is taking away your source of connection. But in reality, your source of connection is not that person, not that physical person. Your source of connection is way over here. So you've kind of lost yourself. So those people who say have to cling on to people, because the further you've gone away for yourself, again, lover after lover after lover, or cause after cause after cause, again, your higher self is still here. You're moving further and further away. You become more and more insecure. And then you, again, it's all ill-defined. You think that doing a cause, killing more people, controlling more people, because you love them, it's a good thing for them, or because you're the best person for them, you're their soulmate. Again, it doesn't work that way, because you're separating yourself more and more. If that makes sense to you? So that's number one on why people who are jealous become even more jealous, because it's like, hey, that's my source of connection. It's not even about the other person, by the way. It's not about the other person. The other person is, say, a little bit more connected than you are to their limitless self, not necessarily to you, which is kind of weird as well, because you think that they're connected to you. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. So you cling on to them because you think their pure presence or their limitless self is going to be yours, and it's not. Yours is over here. So how do you do jealousy the right way? And people who've gone through, the 18-day meditations, hyper meditations, they start getting jealous and they start getting jealous the right way. The right way is they'll look at somebody and they'll go, excuse me, they won't go, okay, they see a beautiful woman, with all that stuff, and it's like, well, who did she have to sleep with to get to where she got, Unfortunately, that's what a lot of women do, right? They cut down their own sex. So that's a whole different subject. But what XI jealousy is about is like, wow, I really admire that woman. So you give credit, right? And your frequencies enhance that woman, because you're a woman as well. And I'm just talking about women in this case, but you can do it with men as well. And then you go, why am I not good enough to be at the level that she is? And then you get jealous, and that jealousy actually pulls you closer to yourself. And a lot of times you necessarily don't need this person, but if this person is right for you, you guys will come closer, and they'll get attracted to you the proper way. So that makes sense, David?
Yeah, absolutely. Very helpful. I know you get into the science a lot, and
Yeah.
a lot of people mistaken love for infatuation, right? There's this
Yeah.
chemical that's being released into our brain, and there's a lot of chemicals and serotonin and, even sense. And there's all these things that are going on. And a lot of
Yeah.
times these things can be mistaken for love as well. And I think the word love is just so overused. It's just so oversimplified. I guess my question would be for you is, when do you feel like it's less about, maybe the chemicals and the environment, or the scent, or what we see as attractiveness, and when does it become something more than that?
Hmm.
And how would we know, okay, this is love? And by the way, we've only been trying to figure this out for thousands of years, Moss. So let's just see if you can boil it down into a few minute answer here.
Absolutely. And I just love this guy because he has those, deep questions that I always like to tackle. Yeah, so serotonin levels, chemical levels, and all that. And you've heard scientists go, the reason why relationships fail after so many years is because your chemicals go down. And again, that's true at this lower level of reality that we exist in. But it's actually supposed to be the opposite. If you were truly in love, and again, love defined by how close you are to your timeless self or your spirit, so to speak, how integrated you are. That the more that person helps you connect with yourself, not connect with them, the more that person helps you connect with yourself, your higher version of yourself, the more you'll fall in love with that person. The more you fall in love with that person, your chemicals adapt and you want more of that person. You need more of that person, not to destroy them, not to suffocate the hell out of them like most people do. Again, that's total opposite. This is because it enhances you and enhances them. So your chemicals actually say enhance. Like for example, many of you know Faye. Faye and I, we've been around for a long time, and people always ask us. We go to restaurants and it's like, is this your first date, or are you guys on your honeymoon? It's like, yeah, we know this is our 8th year honeymoon. So that's a total myth. Your emotions get re-engineered, recalibrated to increase because, and the reason why is because you have found something. Again, you have found that the mechanics or the 1, 2, 3 steps on how do you get closer and closer to yourself. That makes sense to you? So the more you love yourself, so to speak, the more you'll love that connection, that person that is helping you find yourself. So they become a
Mm-hmm.
great support person for you,
Mm-hmm.
not a separator.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very true. It does have a way of evolving. And it does seem like for love to last, it has to evolve, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it has to evolve. Love can't stay stagnant. That's why, again, a lot of people they fall in love. They have that magnetism, and the reason why you have that magnetism initially, again, whether it's a soul lover, whether it's a passion that you have, or again trying to like heal the world, so to speak, whatever that you do, in all those situations, initially there's a lot of energy there. Okay, and the reason why, and it sounds crazy, but the reason why is that even if you're losing yourself in that situation, and how many of you had those friends that go, oh shit, there they go again, they're losing themselves, but they're so vibrant and so on?
Yeah.
It's because that separation of self is
Yeah.
happening, and that separation is exhilarating. It gives you an opportunity to find
Yeah.
yourself, but most people, like, they separate to, they try to come back, but most people, they separate and then they just like die off, and
Yeah.
then the love just dies off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Yeah, I think one of the things that we've probably all seen or read is that love really is a verb, right? It's an action word. Yeah, it's a state of being, and it's a way to sort of explain ourselves. But if we love someone, there's certain things that we're acting out, hopefully, and hopefully they're the right things. Hopefully we're not acting out jealousy. Hopefully we're not acting out fear of loss.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, there's some good, movie references there and pop culture references. Anakin who becomes Darth Vader, right? Fear, 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 and he loses this
Absolutely.
love, and right. And so these are kind of fun references, but because love has been used so much, what are some other words that you would use? Other verbs? Is it commitment? Is it loyalty? Those might be kind of close, but what are the words that you feel like are the closest to defining or redefining or equaling the meaning of love?
I would say connection. And I know it sounds weird, but efficiency. And I know it's like people are going, shit, what is he talking about? This isn't an engine.
You're losing
But
women
it,
everywhere. Women everywhere are going, efficiency? I
yeah,
need to find a man I'm efficient with? What?
yeah,
Better
exactly.
explain that one, Moss.
But if you think of it, those relationships that have been really close, you're just like a well-oiled machine put together. Does that make sense? It's not like you think alike, right? You two are going, or you as a country, as a group or individually, you two are going into the same direction together. Most people think that love, you face each other, and then if you keep looking at each other, you're going to start, well, seeing all, the distortions. And, if you keep looking at somebody's face, no matter how beautiful they are, you'll start to see all their imperfections and so on like that. You don't want to do that, right? And then you lose yourself and you're not going anywhere because you're going to butt heads. What you want to do is like look at a direction together. And when you're doing that, you don't like, what happens is that you look out on one side and you're watching out for that person. They might have a different point of view and they're looking at that side, and then together your views merge. So you have a wholeness that you would never see or observe alone. And that's really key in connecting and getting stronger. So in a if it I don't want to put a time factor, but the key point is that you merge together, but you're not one. You're not one with that person. You merge together. It feels really, really euphoric because you're experiencing, you're literally your higher version, your limitless self, your spirit is experiencing, say, another version of itself, let's say. But what most people do is that they get stuck like this and then they can't get out, and then it's suffocating for that person. But at a higher level of love, you merge together and then you separate when you're alone, and then you merge together. So your experiences, you go hiking, you're on a hiking, you merge together, you become one in that experience, and then you
Yeah.
separate, and it's like, wow, that feels really good. But if you got
Yeah.
stuck together like most people want, right, it never feels good. So it defines you more and more, and that's why I say it's efficient for you. It allows you to become closer and closer and connected to, again, your intimate self, your limited self. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, it does. I think there are some simple facts that could explain some things. I'm going to throw them at you. I think you're going to agree with some. I think some of them you're going to take something different out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that one of the reasons why there is more separation, more divorce, and I say separation and divorce because there's a lot of people who are together but aren't maybe legally married,
Right.
um, is because people live so much longer nowadays, right? And it used to
Absolutely.
be we really depended on each other, right? We had to farm, right? So a woman played a certain role and a man played a certain role, and the more kids you could have, the better you could farm the farm and and create, and you had a chance
Absolutely.
to kind of get ahead, and you really relied on each other and needed each other, and it wasn't unusual for people to be dying 30, 40, 50, women
Mm-hmm.
dying in childbirth. And so there was so much survival, right? And Maslow's hierarchy of needs, some of the basic things is just survival: food, water, shelter. People didn't really get a chance to get much beyond that. Now
Absolutely.
women don't need men as much as they needed before. Now
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of technology. We have a lot of things that protect us and keep us safe, and keep us going. And we have more time, it seems like, to evolve as human beings. And when I was married the first time around for almost 20 years, which I think is probably similar to you, one of the things that I loved about her is I did feel like she made me want to be a better version of myself. She made it easier for me to become a better version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But as I grew and as my beliefs grew, And as things changed and evolved, we kind of grew apart. You hear this, oh, we grew apart. Well, it's
Yeah.
not so much growing apart as us prioritizing and worshiping different beliefs. And it
Yeah.
seems like this is also why religion can play a big factor, right?
Hmm.
You know, when you have two categorically different beliefs about where you're going next and where you came from and how you want to raise kids, it can be really hard. So sometimes you start off with some of these same beliefs, but then as those beliefs evolve and change based on the experiences you have, sometimes you find that tough. And of course, I'm talking a little bit about romantic love, but it can be other things as well, right? You grow up in a
Right.
family, that family has somewhat similar beliefs, but as you go out in the world and you learn other things and you experience other things, those beliefs can change. So because we're living longer now, Moss, and because we
Hmm.
don't have to rely on so much of each other, it does seem like we are able to have more of our own path. How has our own path affected the way that we love and the way that we connect, as you said?
Yeah, a really good question, really deep question. And again, you were talking about, efficiencies. And again, love is about efficiencies, guys, right off the bat, but we got it wrong. A lot of times, pure love wasn't the way people loved in the past was because you wanted to bring two cultures together, two religions together. You wanted to farm together, so that was the kind of pattern. Again, it's all about efficiencies, right? It's more efficient for humanity to come together, but that definition, again, right off the bat, is off. It's way off. It's not about coming together in that way. It's about understanding yourself, again, your higher version, your spirit. Excuse me, it's about understanding your higher version. That's the efficiency that I'm talking about. And then once you connect like that, again, together, again, your limitless self, your limited self, once you connect, you become more efficient as a partner. So what you were describing, David, is like, yeah, we're farmers together. We have to live together. So with that pattern, how many of you have gotten stayed together because of the kids, because of financials, because of whatever? You're just replaying what's happened thousands of years ago of, again, people marrying not because of love, a disassociation of themselves, but putting the countries together. So again, off the bat, we're way off. Right? It's literally about as you come together, your countries get put together. As you come together, your farming, whatever your finances, whatever that you need, come together. Okay. Now we're going, well, that didn't work. That efficiency system doesn't work. And we're going separate on our own. And this is where people start to feel a void. It's a good thing if you want to take advantage of it, because as you separate from anybody else and be on your own, you have a chance to really connect with your intimate self, your timeless self. But what do people do? They don't. They'll go, instead of connecting with somebody, they're going to find a career now. They're going to find this passion now. They're going to do this. They're going to go on the spiritual journey. Again, it's you're recreating the same thing. It's the same pattern. You're recreating that because your timeless self is just waiting for you, like open arms. It's like, please look at me. This is what you're supposed to be like. Okay, or connect with, and then you're looking the other way. It's like, well, now I'm going to have a passion, physical passion. Again, I don't know, saving the world, saving the earth, saving all that. We're recreating it, and it's not going to work. It didn't work past thousands of years. It's not going to work again. So we're recreating that image, and through and what we've done, heal yourself, heal the world. The love event that David, I want you to talk about with Bernardo. That's coming up in February. This is all about bringing you back together with yourself. And as you start to understand who you really are, you'll emanate love. And that's what we're looking for, that love that just like emanates out of us. And people can't deny it. It's like, whoa, pretty powerful love. And it's not a separation, guys, because when you entangle yourself, it's very powerful. Some of you kind of experience that when you're with me, and I'm not that loving kind of guy, so to speak. Does that make sense, David?
Yeah, I think so. How much time do we have left?
Just a few minutes.
Okay. Well, the love event is February 4th through the 6th in
Mm-hmm.
Miami, and the website is theloveevent.com. And the reason why I'm going to give you that website is because there's a ton of information on there.
Yeah.
You know, schedules and panels and descriptions and pictures of the amazing hotel and lineup of speakers and some of their bios, and it's all very, very, very impressive. And there's more than one way to get involved with the love event too. I mean, some
Yeah.
people are coming live, but you can also watch, online. You can get an online ticket for, less than $100. I think it's like, I don't know, $49 or something. But, the love event is a great way to connect with people who do want to raise the consciousness of the planet. And the word love gets thrown around a lot. The word consciousness gets thrown around a lot. But if
Absolutely.
you want the deeper words, if you want the deeper meanings and explanations and definitions, then you want to go to the love event, because that's really what's going to happen.
Right.
There'll be conversations on kindness, and caring, and consciousness, and not just romantic love, but brotherly love and sisterly love, and all the things that come with it. And I'll leave you with one last thing, and I know we're running short on time here, but I think this is a good place to leave us. You know, I might be a color, Moss might be a color, right? He's blue, I'm yellow. Together we make green, right? Now Moss shows up with somebody
Hey,
else.
hey, hey, David, can you keep
Yeah.
talking? I just have to. Somebody's at the door. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, no problem.
Crazy, crazy.
But if Moss is blue and he meets somebody else and their color and they make up purple, right? Red and blue make purple. We really learn a lot about ourselves when we love more than one type of person, and we see what we look like. And that's kind of what we talk about when we see different versions of ourselves. We can show up as one version at a sporting event. We can show up another version, in business. That's why sometimes one of the best questions we can ask ourselves is, who do I need to be right now? Not that you're going to be somebody besides who you really are, but you are a multiple dimensional person, right? A multi-dimensional person. And, Moss talks about this a lot, and it always gets my wheels turning and gets me excited when he gets into this, because, it's so true. And that's why some of the worst advice you could ever get is like, oh, just be yourself. Well, what self, right? I can be like this. I can be like that. And you are meant to be all of those ways. And the love event gives you different people to collaborate with and show up as different colors, show up as different versions of yourself, so that you might find the best version of yourself in any situation. Thank you, Moss.
Thank you, David, and thanks for holding the fort for me. The FedEx guy coming out, Feifei, she's so cute. She sent me a present. It's so cute. We see each other all the time. Right now she's celebrating her father's birthday out in the LA area, and I'm here in Minnesota. And then we were on that snowboarding trip together with some private clients and so on like that. And then we went to the store, this coat company, and it's like, I don't want that coat, and it showed up at the door today. I mean, just little things like that. And again, we've been around each other close to a decade. The first few years we were just business associates, and it's really gotten to be a really fantastic, say, connection. And you and your wife as well, David. It's just beautiful, and that's why I actually brought you on. So thanks for being on the show, David. You can hang out if you'd like. I'm gonna be reading, analyzing people on the call here. We're gonna do a little quick meditation. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in, guys, and I'll show you what I mean, especially for those people who are new. Again, a deep breath in, and I'll help you recreate what I'm talking about, because sometimes it gets confusing. When I say your timeless self is here, your time bound self is here, and you're separating. So what the hell does that mean, right? Take a deep breath in again, and just notice where you are. Look around, and just notice the position that you're in, the point in time and space that you're in. We'll just go silent for a bit. Breath in again. Now, for a lot of you, you might kind of feel an emptiness or a void. That makes sense to you? Again, nothing's changed. But where you are in, say, realities, or how you render yourself in simulations of who you are, that's changed. And that some of you, again, a good number of you might feel that separation or void. That separation has nothing to do with something or somebody outside of yourself. That separation is how you see yourself rendered in the simulation. You're lost in the simulation of yourself, so to speak. Lost in love. Take a deep breath in again. So since you don't know the deeper meaning of, say, love, again, a reattachment or a reconnection, think of it this way. And I'll work on you a little bit more. Let's just work on the world as well. You have a source. You have a Bluetooth speaker. When they're close together, they sound really good, right? You're connected. But then you pull further and further and further away. The connection gets lost. It becomes sporadic. And then you think that source is somewhere, but it's the opposite of where you're going. You think that source is someone outside of you. It's not. So that's where you lose yourself, just like that Bluetooth connection. And then forevermore, this is what society has done until it crumbles. It's like you're trying to connect to some other Bluetooth device that won't accept that connection. They can't. So as you take a deep breath in, let's help you put yourself back together. There we go. How do you feel? Do you feel more connected? Do you feel more like you're more solid? You're more respecting yourself. There you go. So if you stay in this space, the relationships around you will reflect the closeness that you are with yourself. Whether that relationship is, a parent-child relationship, a child-parent relationship, lover relationship, with other countries, with other workers, with other, people you do business with, or whatever it is, again, you'll see that connection. There's a higher connection to nature as well. And that's when it gets really fantastic, because nature loves the frequencies of connected people. Okay? Most of the time when we walk out in nature, we're just like pulling nature apart because we're apart. But when you walk through nature, you'll feel that camaraderie between the frequencies of nature and you, and they literally cherish you and embrace you like you've never experienced before. Those people who are doing XI, again, comment in about it, and you'll see how connected you are. But it's not just about that. It's the love that you're feeling from nature, and it's just the purest love ever. And then, well, you go higher, your higher self, a God frequency, however you define that, you get more of a pure version of who you are. So I want you to comment in on how you felt the difference. Again, that separation, that void that we're trying to fill outside of ourselves, and then when I put you back together. Please comment in if you can. So let's go ahead and I'll analyze all of you, scan you, see what's going on with you, and we'll keep it to relationships because it is about relationship. But before we do that, the XI lecture series, the physics of relationships, coming up Thursday, January 27th. So not too far. I'm going to give you the logistics, the mechanics, the 1, 2, 3 steps on how you see yourself in relationships. And if you understand this, basically you know the groundwork for XI, and you would know the relationship between you and money, between you and health, between you and a Godhead, between you and your lover. You would understand how this all works. You would understand yourself. Again, it's never been shown before in XI, and nobody knows those. Again, a lot of individuals who talk about love or relationships, it goes far beyond anything that's out there for you. Okay, in personal deprogramming, coming up January 23rd. Again, this coming week, this coming Sunday, that is playing. It's on playing small, because if you're wanting, a lot of people who who are wanting love because they're small, they play small, and they want somebody to latch onto so that they can be part of them. That and then you lose yourself, and it's like, what the hell happened? Why is that relationship not working out? Because you're playing small. You can't love somebody if you think that you're just a tiny little thing. So again, playing small, getting rid of that. Personal optimization coming up this coming February 2nd. It's on health. Understanding what health is really about, not at a logical, psychological level, or even at a physical level. Okay, this goes way beyond. This would go down, I would say, into your cellular level on how you identify yourself healthy or not healthy. And then heal yourself, heal the world. Oh, the love event. Again, I'll be speaking every day on that, and I think you get a discount if you join if you do both events. So I'll be speaking every day. It's on the Best UTV, February 4th through the 6th, coming up. And then Heal Yourself, Heal the World, my own personal event. That's coming up February 8th through the 10th. For those, I don't know if it's booked up, but we'll go on a cruise, a yacht. That's out there. We have private sessions lined up for you on the love event as well, the Best You Love event. We'll have private sessions for you as well. So we've got a lot of time where we can connect individually. And, after all this COVID stuff, it's just separated, hibernating. It's nice to reconnect physically. So, all right. So let's jump on to scanning you. Just give me 1 second here. All right. Because of the world we live in, not loving, I have to read this disclaimer. This is Sajady with Xponential Intelligence, Sunday, January 16th, 2022. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. So please, if I tell you something medical related, consult your doctor or professional advice. Seek professional advice. If you ask to be scanned today, you're agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want us to use your session, then don't raise your hand or don't ask to be scanned. Really simple. And then all contents are protected by copyright. So you may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. And then please only ask once to be scanned. All right, so we'll jump in. And again, comment in on how you guys felt during that hyper meditation. Good number of you. Hi, I'm doing the relationship human reset, total human reset. Please scan my progress. This is Rita. So Rita, you seem like you are starting to say, understand who you are, understand your real self. You're kind of pushing away other people at a deeper level. And you go, well, God, if I'm pushing away people, because that's your pattern, if I'm pushing away people, then how am I going to find and attract love? Initially, you're going to push away people because you have to be, say, isolated from everybody else so you can harmonize and balance on your own. Okay, and then that way it gives you a trajectory on, say, where your higher version is, and so you can go towards it. Okay, so if you're with somebody else, it's hard to balance with somebody else on, say, in your identity, so to speak. So again, you're separating yourself from everything and everyone, even belief systems and so on like that, which is really fantastic. And you'll go, wait a second. So in a short while, you go, shit, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. So you'll start to see what's really what real truth is about, the deeper level truth is about. So it's a good place to be, although you might feel isolated or alone. Some of you who do feel isolated or alone, again, you seek that shelter in somebody else. It doesn't work that way. Seek shelter in your own version of who you are. Okay, this one, and if I scan you guys, please comment in on how accurate that is. I know I'm accurate, but it's good for you all, for those up and coming XIers to go, shit, where did Moss tap in to that information? Because it's out there for everybody, by the way. It's very transparent. And then for you all that are new, it's like, damn, this guy was right. May I have a scan, please? This is Joan Tedeschi. So Joan, there's always been kind of like a masculine version around you, or you might be, say, that caring person for your spouse, so to speak, and your kids, again, from a masculine identity. You're releasing that completely, so to speak. And this is where many women who do XI, men as well, but in this case a woman, many women who do XI, you start to look younger, you start to look more feminine, more female. It doesn't mean that you become weaker or society's definition of a woman. This is an XI woman. So you're becoming more and more of a vibrancy of yourself. So really nice job. Congratulations. This one's and it says, last night on the Total Human Reset call, you said I try to trap people in relationships because of a pattern I got from my mom. Can you help me disconnect? Absolutely. You writing in, by the way, is about that. So yes. This one, again, wow, in this case, I'm very distant to myself and everybody else. Must be fear. A scan would help. Yeah. So this is Sandra Kea. So again, when you start to realize how distant you are from yourself, in that quick hyper meditation, when you start to realize the distance between, again, your limitless self, your time bound self, you will start to make sense on why your relationships are so distant as well. Okay? Because again, your relationships are a reflection on how, say, separate you are from yourself. Okay? So yeah, so what I was doing for you is like I was helping you in that brief session to understand the distance or the blocks that are between you. When is the next 18-day coming up? Sign up for, go to sajady.com. Take a look at that. I think it's either February or March. We do have an elevation, which is once a week. So if you're new, we do the 18 days. Even the essential is so powerful, guys. At first it was 21, but then it broke down to 18. Excuse me, 18 days. Because, again, it was so intense, people needed to decompress and resettle. So if you're new, highly recommend, even if you think you're so advanced, I would highly recommend doing the elevation class coming up, I know for sure in February. Okay, so this next month. So take a look at that. It's elevation. We do it once a week. For the new people, it gets your toes wet on what XI frequencies is about, the logistics, the mechanics of XI. And then for the advanced individuals, it keeps that momentum going for you. Just enough. This one, Loretta Bega, why am I scared to love? Because you feel like it's like there was either a death that left you, say, separate, or like, say, a father figure either died or just left. Yeah, from what I'm seeing. So that separation. Or it could have happened to, say, grandmother, and then the grandfather left or died. Does that make sense? Anyway, either way, it's a leaving of a masculine frequency. So you Well, I'm not scared to. So you, if you get connected and if you fall in love, well, you just think that that person is, well, basically going to leave you somehow, and that pattern is true, by the way. So 1, 2, 3. It's happened to you 3, 4 times. You really fell in love with something or a cause, and then it just like disappeared. It's like, what the hell happened, right? Because again, that underlying pattern of something leaving you when you get to a certain point or certain intensity of love. So that's why. I can easily disconnect that for you in a session. Again, my sessions are booked out quite a bit, but there is a waiting list, guys. So just get on that waiting list. So many. So that was accurate. Thank you. Yes, will you scan me? This is Julia Hawks. I'm asked, will you scan me? Sure. So Julia, you're a lot in your head. And I'll just focus in on relationships. So you're in on your head all the time. You're always thinking logistically, But love is not here. It's not even an emotion. It actually is chemistry. Love is an efficiency, and again, it all goes to efficiency. It is an efficiency on how how efficient your cells work with themselves. Okay, so the cleaner you are within your cells, and that's why the total human reset, where we give you food plans and all that to detox, that's where it comes from. So I don't know where I was going with that. I lost. So anyway, so if you're there, we go. So if you're in your head, you're always going to feel disconnected. The more that person loves you, the more separate you'll feel from them. Okay, because again, love is, say, a connection, is a frequency between your cells, between each other's cells. If that makes sense to you, I call it your body brain, or your DNA, and that perpetuates, say, integrity, connection, efficiencies. So when you're together, again, you're harmonizing or you're vibing together when you're in love. That's why, because your whole body's connected. Your body can trust the other body to not destroy itself or not separate, not take things away from you. So that's, again, real definitions of love. And then this actually starts to change your genetic makeup. And then, if you have kids and someone, it changes them. So we perpetuate, and that's what this whole love event is coming up in February. You perpetuate that throughout, say, society, and that's where we can rebuild society. And that's what, again, heal yourself, heal the world is all about. It's not about going out there and helping more people and all that. How many times have we done that? Again, there's fantastic people who've done that, but they've had great hearts. But look at the world today, right? We're more separate than ever, especially with technology. By the way, somebody said, Moss, did you scratch your face snowboarding? I could have. We were going through some trees and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe. The new XI merchandise and clothes are sweet. Yeah, we're going to get more designs. We're going to get, are you XI? I think that's kind of cool. Exponentially intelligent. Are you exponentially intelligent? We're actually going to do a session or an event. It could be a podcast, or it could be on the Moss Experience on the Best UTV or Roku. You can get that on Roku, where it was like AI, artificial intelligence, emotional intelligence, normal intelligence, and then XI, exponential intelligence. The differences between all that. I am new here. This is Leo S. Hello, Moss. I am new here. Would you scan me? So for you, Leo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So when I analyze you, and by the way, some of you are going, well, how does he do that? I'm not psychic, by the way. I explain that. I'm not going to explain it here, but if you go to Sajady.com, I think there's a video on how my abilities work. By the way, you all have these abilities. So for Leo, excuse me, for Leo, so what's tough about relationships with you, Leo, is because, say you're a guy, Leo, you're masculine, but then what you would do is you would need women that need help. So, and I see three women that you've helped. Could be your mom or like a sister, but anyway, three women and then one lover, so to speak. They're still connected to you. So, what does that mean to you? You know, how does that benefit you? Well, if those women are connected to you, this is what you will experience in relationships. One, you get into a relationship, okay? That woman, that person will never trust you because there's always a scent of other women around you. Okay? So no matter how loving you are, Leo, no matter how connected you are to that person, no matter how honest you are to that person, that woman, again, especially women, they're very intuitive. It's like, I have a fear that, and you attract people who have a fear of you cheating on them. That makes sense to you. This is the reason why, because you're still connected to these other relationships. Um, so, and you only have three spots, for example. Again, say a mom, a sister, and then a lover. Okay, so that lover is still connected to you at somehow. Okay, even if you don't connect with them, frequency-wise or space-wise, they're taking up space. You need to let go of that. The other aspect of that is that the relationship always turns into a mother type relationship or a sister type relationship, which is not romantic at all, by the way, right? So that's why the sex fades down, because the more you fall in love, the more you have to react or connect as a sister or mother. Again, emotions or sexual energy literally dies down because of that. So how many of you are like that, by the way? You have a sister or brother type feel relationship? These are some of the reasons why. So so if you only have three spots, Leo, and they're still connected to you, what that means is if they have a bad day, you have a bad day, and you go, shit, why is my energy drained? Well, this is the reason why, because you're the battery for those people. So if you have three spots and those three spots are filled, you would feel like, even if you're in a relationship, you won't feel like you're in a relationship because they can't like come in. You'd have to disconnect those relationships where, again, you have spots to fill. Does that make sense? And again, Leo, write in. This one, doing human reset, feels like I'm going through ego death. Would you be able to help the process by be faster and with more grace? Thank you. I can do it with more grace for you. I can help you more grace and understand yourself. But faster just means like, and as you do have more grace, then yes, it does peel away faster for you. Sure. For those on the total human reset, just take a deep breath in. We'll work on you in the background. This is really interesting. This is Zana Metz. Would you scan my relationship with my partner? I'm trying to convince myself he's a good for the moment and my child. But deep inside, I don't want a child from him. So, I mean, you said it right there. Trust your emotions, especially if you've done XI for a bit. You're actually running the pattern David was talking about where, you know, cultures get together for convenience, right? Efficiency. Where it's like, well, in a lot of people, a lot of cultures, a lot of religions, you know, what do? It's like, oh, don't worry about it, honey. This is the pattern that you'd be running. You know, don't worry about it. He's a good provider. You know, he's a doctor or he's a lawyer. You know, especially if you're Jewish or even my culture, right? It's like, you know, you'll learn to love him. So that's the kind of pattern that you think. So that's one aspect of you, Zana. And then the other aspect, from what I'm seeing, and you're seeing it clearly as well, is that you get into situations that you know you shouldn't, and then you always have a hard time backing away. Well, and as you've grown older, the situations get more and more tough for you to, say, break away. Okay? So this is a heavy situation because, again, you know, you're not really connected with that person, but you want to have a child. Again, the component is the child because it straps you on with that situation or identity that you don't want to associate with. So, are there relationships out there for you? Absolutely. But whether it's a physical, a human relationship, or a business relationship. Say that you get into a business and this situation run, you'll always say create a business that say drains you or drains the finances out of that business. If you were, say, the CEO or the owner of that business. So again, that pattern dictates all of your lives. Okay. So what you want to do again is, I'll help you just a bit, but I would suggest a longer session where you pull away, where you pull away and understand how that, say, sacrifice pattern. Basically, it is a sacrifice pattern. You pull away from that, and then what happens with that is that you go, oh shit, I don't need to sacrifice for love or child or money, or you sacrifice yourself to understand a higher version of yourself, which is the craziest thing ever, because religions teach that for you. Just think of it, guys. You have to sacrifice yourself to understand, to connect to a limitless being, because that's what that limitless being wants you to do. But if it was a limitless being, again, why would he or they need something from you if they were limitless? Again, it just gives me a headache, actually. Just thinking about it, why billions of people actually believe that. Again, the limitless being doesn't want anything from you. It just wants you to be limitless. Got it? Because that's a reflection of that limitless being. You being limitless and you being full of completeness on your own. Hello from Istanbul. Hey Bree, how are you, hon? This one, and then we'll call it a day, guys. Hi, Moss. I've been unsuccessful in my romantic relationships. Please see if you can check what's up. Thank you so much. Yeah, so this is Amen. Amen. We'll just keep it at that. So for you, it just seems like your definition, and again, you all think love, people, we need more love in the world, but your definition of love is what's fucking up the world. And again, heal the world, heal yourself. The love event coming up in February, it's about resetting the definitions so we all have a single vision on what love really is defined as. So for you, Amen, love is actually defined as being a scapegoat for women. Simple as that. It's not a healthy love. So if that makes sense for you. So what that means is that you'll connect with women that will basically blame you for their issues in life. And again, Amen, comment back. So over time, as you get more and more connected, or as you know each other more, the more you'll know more and more of each other's weaknesses. And as that shows up for that person, well, those weaknesses is because it's your fault, Amen. So think of it that way. So the more you fall in love, or the more intimate you get, sexually, and then emotionally as well, what happens? The more intimate you get, the more weaknesses show up for you. Or, when you fall in love, your weaknesses show up, right? It's there for you to release those weaknesses, but most people hide them. In this scenario, they blame you, Amen, for their weaknesses. It's like it's because of him that this thing is happening to me. They don't understand the deeper patterns. So it's like your mom at a deeper level. The reason why this shows up for you, your mom, well, never trusted your father. 1, 2, 3. He seems, and again, I could be way off. He seems like he's had 1, 2, 3, at least 3 affairs on that. And you go, oh, God, that bastard, right? And the mom, well, the mom wasn't even there. So a lot of times, again, people have affairs and all that stuff, and it's not a good idea if you're not awakened, by the way. But they're just trying to fulfill a need they're not getting in that relationship. But in this scenario, again, your mom blames the father, and then worse yet, you're a male, so all males now represent, say, your father. Get it? So not a good thing. All right, guys. We'll just end with this. Always feel I needed a relationship before XI. Now, 2-3 years in relationships with myself. with a little bit of confirmation deletion in there. Yep, absolutely. So you get really, really strong upon yourself, really get to have the relationship again between your limitless self and you. And then that's where you're self-supportive. And then you find, so you're actually ready for a relationship to come into, excuse me, where you're going to see yourself connecting with somebody and that won't destroy you like previous relationships did. All right, guys. And again, I want to thank David for coming on the show. Hopefully connect with Sajady.com. Subscribe to our channel. Let other people know about it. That'd be fantastic. So we can give you more and more free content. All right, guys. Notice what you notice. Notice those details. All right. Peace. Sajady with Xponential Intelligence. And I'm so excited to tell you that I will be on the Love event coming up in February with the Best UTV. And when Bernardo and David asked me to be a sponsor on the Love event, I heard about the concept and I said, no way, I want to be a partner in the Love event because I feel that this Love event is going to be a pivotal moment for humanity, and I just wanted to be partner for it, and I wanted to do it right, and that's why I'm on the board. And it's going to be really, really exciting because this Love event is different than anything out there. This Love event is about bringing in the frequencies that we need, not just more emotions. Now, we all know, right? How many of you think that the world needs more love? And we keep pouring more love in. But we've done that through history. A lot of us don't even know what love is really about, right? You might think, well, I know what love is because I can feel it. But can you really? Is that love burdened? Is that love, do you have to sacrifice for that love? Do you have to burden yourself for that love? Again, those aren't pure definitions of love. So the more we love, in reality, the more burdens we are creating. And if you look at the world, right, more love creates more burdens. Is that your definition? Well, for the world, that's the world's definition. We need to change that definition, and that's why I decided to do this Love event with Bernardo and David, because we were looking at it, we were analyzing it, like, what does this world really need? This world needs a whole different definition on love, and that's what this Love event is about. I personally, if you know me, right, can edit, transform, shift individuals. Now we're going to do it at a bigger scale, and I want you to be part of that. We're going to do a mass meditation at the Love event. We're going to talk about what really is love at a very high level, at that purest level, the real definition of what love is about, and then the distorted definition that most people run. And then we're going to try to change it, not just for you, not just for your family, but the world. So again, join me on the Love event coming up. Details below.